What's up, everybody? My name is Aaron. I am the Brick Scavenger. It's mail time again, but we're going to do things a little bit differently today. This is a really small haul. 37 minifigures in this. I got it for really cheap, $41, which is obviously a great deal. I don't think that there's a lot of really good stuff in here. And you might think, what a boring video. But we're going to mix it up a little bit. Here's what I'm thinking we'll do. We're going to go through this relatively quickly here. I'm going to show you what I got. But then what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about Bricklink, which is where I sell a lot of this stuff. And we're going to talk about how I can make a profit on 37 figs, $41, when there's nothing really that good in there. I think it'll be helpful. I'm also going to talk about the 6-month sales average on Bricklink and why I don't really pay attention to it, why I don't think it's all that valuable. So hopefully that bit of information will be something that you will find interesting. And then we'll talk a little bit about how you can take parts and pieces of figs and you can indeed sell them even though the figs aren't complete. Here's a great example. There's a Jafar. That's not so bad, right? I think that, well, I don't know what is going on with this Jafar. It is all sorts of twisted here. Jafar had some kind of bad back situation going on. Here's a good example. Kashyyyk helmet. I'm going to show you in just a few minutes how Kashyyyk helmets can go on Bricklink. Just that part, and how there are people out there that want that part. How I would load it into my store, what price I will choose to sell it for, etc., etc. So if you're just in it for the mail time stuff, we're going to blast through these figs real quick. But there's not a lot of good in here. You know, there's just kind of some common stuff in here. Look at this old guy. I love his head. His head's funny. But I thought this was the perfect opportunity to not only do like a mail time. There's a Spider-Man 2 head. Wish I could say that was really good, but it's not. There is part of a bomb squad. Hopefully it's not cracked. It is not. So that'll be absolutely helpful. There is, I'm going to totally space it. Dang, it's cracked. That's really too bad. But we're going to add this to Bricklink, and I'll show you how I handle that as well. Let's see. Here is a fireman. And actually, so we're going to talk about, we're going to use this and talk exactly. We're going to use this piece and talk about why the 6-month sales average is not useful. That will be perfect. I think, ooh, you guys, I think that's Shredder. Is that movie Shredder? Oh my gosh, it is shiny and beautiful. Maybe we're going to do a little better on this than I thought. This part's obviously not Shredder, but those torso and legs, those are sweet. Here is a Golden Lloyd from Ninjago. That probably will be headed to my Whatnot auctions. If you guys are not a part of Whatnot, you want to be a part of it. Trust me, great community of people that buy, sell, chat Lego. You don't want to miss it. I sell on there. It's an auction app. Use the link in the description below. I'm telling you, it is so much fun. And that link will get you some money off your first order. So it is very much worth it. It is tons of fun. That looks like that's Angry Abraham Lincoln or Apocalypse Abe or whatever it's called. Here's some random Ninjago stuff. Here is a Falcon with a breather. Is he supposed to have a breather? I don't think that's right. I guess if you fly high enough, maybe you need a breather. Let's see. What else? Whoa, that is a shiny Batman. Is that an old one? It's kind of an unusual, simple print. This alien head, actually, I think has pretty good value. So that's pretty sweet. We're almost through. There's, nice. That's Phasma legs. This lot's a little better than I thought, actually. That is sweet. A lot of common stuff like this. There is, when I saw this at first, I thought those were Velma legs. I don't think they are. I think they may be Green Goblin legs. Here's a random, I don't even know what that is, but it's beat. We're not going to sell that. Here is a Batman. Here is a very fake football player. Oh, that's Cam Newton. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Is this a little beat? It needs a little cleaning. But this is Two-Face, I believe. And it's not in bad condition, actually. It's just a little used, but it's really old. We'll clean that up. And that'll be a nice little piece, actually. What in the moly is that head? It's like somebody sat on his head and smushed him. What else do we got in here? Oh, yowza! How about more Shredder? And it's on a Forestman. Okay, didn't even pay attention to the Forestman part. That's an expensive torso. Forestmen just in general are expensive, but look at this. That, my friends, is the Shredder armor. Oh, yama mama. That's like a $20 piece right there. Holy cow. Does this go like this? I don't know my Ninja Go very well. Might. It might. Here's an old Riddler, too. I think that's the old Riddler, isn't it? That's like not even a SH number on Bricklink. I think that's a BAT number. Sweet. All right, so that's, oh wait, no, just kidding. We're still going. Look at that. The New York baseball player. That's got the printed belt. Where'd it go? I lost it. A printed belt. That's sweet right there. Whoa, this haul's a little better than I thought. I was thinking this was going to be a good way to show you just some Bricklink stuff, but it's actually going to turn out to be a profitable lot. Sweet. All right, so that's the end of part 1. That's mail time, but stick around for 2 seconds, and we're going to talk a little bit about how I use Bricklink to, add some of these parts and why the 6-month sale average, not all that useful. All right, so here we are now screen capturing. I'm on a website called brickignize.com, and I actually use this 100 times a day probably to post things to my Bricklink store. So what you'll find when you go to brickignize.com is it's going to ask you to either upload a picture or it's going to ask you to use the camera. I always use the camera, and this is going to show my face with messy hair. But what I do is I'll take a piece like this Bays Malbus torso here, and I'll hold it up to the screen and I'll hit capture. And what that will do then is it will bring up it will use the picture to try to identify that part or that figure or whatever. Obviously, in this case, it got the first one. And the beauty of Brickignize is that it actually links directly to the Bricklink item. So I can click on this and you can see it takes me straight to Bricklink. And now I've got the part here. And you can see a bunch of things. You can see that the 6th month used sale average is about $1.77, something like that. I can go over to the minifigure and I can see that the entire fig sells for, $9.19, etc. But let's go back to the part, and I want to show you why the 6-month sale average I don't think is all that useful. Okay, if I go over here to items for sale, you can see that there are lots and lots of Bays Malbus torsos for sale, okay? But what you're gonna notice is that a lot of these are damaged. They're cracked, whatever, right? So this Bays Malbus right here, the cheapest one, is a seller in the United States, but you'll notice the torso's cracked. So this one's for sale for $1.18. If this one sells, it is going to lower the average sales price from $1.77 to something smaller than $1.77. And it's going to influence it a lot because it's only sold 42 times in the last 6 months. Okay. So the fully healthy, perfect torsos from Bays Malbus are averaged into the same 6-month sales average as all of the damaged ones. Okay, and that's why the sales average to me is really should be bimodal rather than an average, because damaged ones should not count in the same sales average as ones that are fully healthy. If you go in down here, look, this one has teeth marks in it, right? Now, some of these don't have descriptions in them. They may or may not be good, which I know makes it a little bit scary to purchase things from Bricklink. What I can tell you in my store, I'll show you now. In my store, I'm going to go to add this to my store inventory. If you remember from earlier, a couple minutes ago, I showed that mine is cracked. Mine is damaged, right? So I use this comment section, and I'm going to say something like, torso is cracked, print looks great. The comments are something that everyone can see, potential buyers can see, okay? And in my remarks, nobody can see that except the seller. Usually this would be reserved for the location where you put it in a drawer or whatever. Forget my naming system. This is going to go into a specific drawer called under 0414. Then I have quantity 1 of these. And because it's damaged, I'm going to sell this for 99 cents. So I'm going to review the item. I'm going to add it to my store inventory, right? And then I'm going to put that into that drawer. And we should be ready to roll for the next thing. Now, what I would like to do is show you, if I now go back to the Bays Malbus torso, you are going to see I now have the cheapest one in the world. Now mine is damaged, and if I sell mine, it's going to affect the 6-month sales average. But to me, that's not a me problem. That's a Bricklink problem. But what I will tell you is that if you are out using the 6-month sale average to determine the value of minifigures, be real careful, because all of the damaged figs are averaged in. So if you go and you think, hey, I will only pay X price for a P1 Captain Rex because that's the 6-month sales average, keep in mind that every Captain Rex that sells for $4 because a dog chewed on the thing is averaged into that. So let's do something else. Now I've added something for 99 cents. Again, I paid... what did I pay? $41 for this whole lot. But let's do the Geonosis. I'm sorry, the Kashyyyk. Let's do the Kashyyyk helmet. So let's go back to Brickignised. Now I can click on this camera again, and I can hold this up, and I can see if it will identify the Kashyyyk helmet, and it will right there. All right, you can see that I already have one of these in my store, although I do need to select the color of olive green. Okay, now I'm going to click on 6-month sales average. The 6-month sale average is $4.15 roughly. Okay, I won't sell mine for $4.15, and I'll tell you why. A couple things. I see Kashyyks sell all the time on Whatnot, P2s for $20. Now look, somebody sold a Kashyyyk P2 helmet for 39 cents. Do you think that affected the overall average price? 39 cents. That was a dog toy. I guarantee it. Now, if you scroll down, you can see that this was sold a lot of times over the last 6 months. This white square right here tells you what I personally have sold for. So I sold one for $6.16 sometime in the last 6 months. In my inventory right now, I have one listed for $6.99. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to add to store inventory. Now, if I wanted to have that quantity go from 1 to 2 because I already have one in my store, I would have to now go locate the drawer and put this in there. I don't do it that way. It's too much of a pain in the butt. So do I have multiple listings for one single part? Yeah, I do. It's just the way it rolls. So again, this is going to go into under 0414. I have quantity 1, and we had the other one listed at $6.99, so we're going to do that. Now, I am not going to put anything into comments. I don't list anything here if I consider the condition to be outstanding. So if you're shopping in my store and you don't see a comment, rest assured that that means to me that this is an outstanding piece. That doesn't mean I didn't make a mistake. Occasionally I make mistakes, but overall, I think of that as being an outstanding piece. So I didn't make a comment at all. All right, so I've added to my store inventory. Now we've added effectively $7 plus $1, $8 so far. And remember, we only got this thing for $41, right? Let's do another part. Let's do a full fig just for fun, or at least most of a fig. Let's do this guy. So in this case, assuming he's correct, we're going to do this little snake guy. All right, so we're going to do this right here. And it looks like he has a cracked arm, so maybe this was a bad example. Let's do a different one. I don't like that because he's got a cracked arm. Let's do this one instead. Normally what I would do is replace that arm. I could write on there it has a cracked arm, but I would much rather replace the arm. How about this girl? Okay, so this is Nancy right here. She's got black legs. She has a blue top, and she's got that. She doesn't have her hair. So let's click on Nancy. Oh, whoa. Okay. I didn't realize Nancy was this expensive. I was expecting this to be a $3 minifigure. Whoa! Okay, maybe we're going to save that one as well. A little surprise for the Brick Scavenger. Okay, let's try a different one. We gotta go locate that hair. If you like that one, it might be too bad because that one may be headed to my wall. I had no idea it was that expensive. Let's do the shredder. Wait, let's get the armor too. Let's do the shredder. Okay, so I'm assuming this all goes together. Let's find out. Okay, so here is, yeah, look at that. There's the movie shredder. Let's go. Okay, so now you've got a couple of options here if you're adding this to your Bricklink store. If you've got the full fig, you could just add to your store inventory, and that would work just fine, and then you could add it and sell it as a full fig. I don't have the full fig, and I don't sell full figs on Bricklink for the most part, save for like Minecraft, something like that. So you have a couple options. One thing you could do is you could go to parts, right? And individually, I can go to the legs, and I can study that the legs sell on average for $181. They've only sold a handful of times on Bricklink over the last 6 months. If you go back now, you can also look at the torso and see how much that sells for on average. Again, I don't know the condition of those. Those may be really damaged. And then we can go look at the armor, and whoa, the armor sells for an absolute ton. Whoa, we're going to do just fine on this. What does the overall fig sell for? Let's find out. $65. Holy moly. Up to, look at this. Somebody bought it for $85 used sometime over the last 6 months. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go oh, wait, let me show you one more thing. What you can do, if you have like most of these parts or some of these parts, you can go to part out, and then you can add the comment one time, like under, well, we'll just do it, under 0414. And so that is going to now, when I hit submit edit, now you'll notice I'm going to add all these different parts, right? And they all already have the remark under 0414, which is only visible to me. So now the legs, I am going to charge more than this for the legs because this is a $65 minifigure. So I'm going to charge $4.99 for these legs. Because this is such an expensive minifigure, I'm going to type in excellent into this field right here. This torso, I'm just going to double check, is not cracked. I'm betting that a lot of the sales that you saw for the torso and the legs were damaged because most people don't do what I do and sell parts. They save these parts up and then build full figs, and then they sell anything that's damaged on Bricklink. So I'm going to charge $7.99 for this torso. Again, this is excellent. Now you'll notice I don't have this cape, so I'm going to delete the cape. I do have the armor, and the armor is just virtually impossible to find. So I'm going to charge $28.99 for the armor. I do not have the helmet, and I'm sure I have this head somewhere, but I don't have it in front of me, so I'm going to delete that as well. Now, what I did not point out earlier is the numbers that are sort of by default here are exactly the 6-month sale average. You'll notice that I'm ignoring those because of the potential of sales that were damaged parts dramatically affecting the overall 6-month sales average. I would much, much prefer if Bricklink would add a category of damaged parts so that those damaged parts are not affecting the 6-month sales average for these parts. I don't anticipate that's going to happen. And so educating yourself and understanding what the 6-month sales average actually means is incredibly important if you want to sell on Bricklink. Now listen, if you're selling just random like bricks or tiles or arches or whatever, it's totally different than figs. And the reason that it's different is because bricks and tiles sell by the thousand. Generally speaking, they're all in excellent condition. And if you're selling thousands of parts and one of them sells for way below all of the others because it's damaged, it's not going to affect the overall result. But fig parts don't sell that much on Bricklink, so one sale of a damaged torso can dramatically affect the overall average if it's only sold 20 times in the last 6 months, you know, something like that. So anyway, we now are going to verify. So we're going to go to verify items, and we have the legs, we have the torso, and we have the armor. And so, geez, those 3 parts basically pay for the entire lot right there. So we're going to upload these items. I'm going to put them in the drawer. And I don't know how long this video is getting. Maybe too long. Maybe you're bored already. But let's do one more thing just for fun. And let's add a full fig just for fun. I have a Minecraft fig right here. So I could type in Minecraft and search for it. But man, Bricklink is just my absolute favorite. So here is this Minecraft fig. It is Alex with the reddish brown legs. You'll notice on average, this sells for $1.10. But look, somebody sold it for 1 cent. I don't know who's selling this for 1 cent, but obviously that's affecting the average a lot. Now, I'm not claiming that this is a $20 minifigure, but it is certainly not worth 1 cent. So rather than part this guy out, which I probably could do and actually do better on because the legs alone in reddish brown would sell really well, I'm going to add this entire fig. It's the same idea. In the remarks, I'm going to type in 0414 because that's where I'm going to put him. I'm not going to put a comment in at all because he is in excellent condition. Quantity, I have 1 of them. And let's sell him for $1.35. That's a little bit above the 6-month sales average. I usually price Minecraft a little bit lower than I would otherwise because it's a little bit harder to sell. I do have a lot of Minecraft in my store. Now you'll notice this is giving me a notification that you already have one of these in the store. I'm going to ignore that and add it as a new lot. But what I will say is this thing I have listed in my store at $175. So I'm actually going to go back in and change that price, lower it to $135 so that I'm consistent with all of my Alexes. I'm going to add that to the store. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and look at Alex. Now you'll see I have 2 in my inventory. One of them is listed in the drawer that we just created for $135. The other one is in a different drawer. This one is $175. I'm actually going to change it to $135, submit the changes, and now both of my Alexes are the same price. Okay. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If this is helpful and you want me to do more of this, please let me know in the comments. I am an open book. I am happy to share with you guys my hauls. I am happy to share with you guys my sales techniques. I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys. So if you're interested in how I run my Bricklink store or how I run my whatnot auctions, hit me up in the comments and we can chat about it for sure. Or if you want to actually hear my voice and ask questions, come join us on whatnot and we can absolutely talk about it. I love this Lego community. I try to be an open, honest person for everybody. I am in this partially to make some money, but mostly just to kind of fund my own habit. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it this far in the video, I'm going to look for that hairpiece for that crazy expensive M-Tron girl. That was awesome. We will see you next time on the Brick Scavenger channel.